All right, Nick, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks. I think, all offseason we've been talking about a mix of players from different teams. And usually on those teams, we're talking about, up and coming either rookies that are looking good through OTAs and minicamp or a free agent who came in. Sometimes the guys that have been on these teams and kind of building the momentum, they get overlooked. I don't think they're given enough credit sometimes, but the Seahawks have one guy in particular who started a slow build around early November of last year and is on pace to have a big time breakout year this year. Let's get into the article and we can talk more about it on the other side. This, of course, is from over on PFF, and it says, with the 2024 NFL season slowly creeping up, we're looking at a PFF data collected over the past few seasons to identify potential breakout candidates at each position on offense and defense. And here's our summer 2024 all breakout team. The edge defender selection, Boye Mafe, Seattle Seahawks. And Nick, I think it's important to clarify here. This isn't just, a Seattle list. This isn't just an NFC list. This is all of the NFL. They have selected Boye Mafe as one of the two edge defenders that are set to break out this season. I think that is big coming from PFF. They said Mafe registered 9 sacks in 2023, so perhaps he's already broken out in some people's eyes, but he can make himself more of a household name in 2024. He improved his pressure rate from 6% as a rookie to 13.1% last year, and now gets to work with defensive-minded head coach Mike Macdonald, who should be able to help him get even better. I think that's a key part here, what Macdonald can do for Mafe. Nick, I want to hear what your thoughts on Boye Mafe's potential breakout season are, but before we get to you, Seahawks fans, in the comment section below, here's a good one for you. Let us know, who is your favorite Seahawks edge rusher of all time? I think there's a lot of really interesting options out there, but let us know in the comments below, who's your favorite Seahawks edge rusher of all time? And while you're down there, check out the description below the video. See our list of recommended reading for some of our favorite NFL books. There's a lot of really great options down there. If you want to be the smartest guy in the comment section, you got to get that knowledge. So check out the books in the description of the video below. But Nick, what are your thoughts on Mafe?
It's one of those things. So when you look at breakout players, you're kind of looking for a guy that's coming out of nowhere. And like the report highlights, Mafe had a really solid season last year. But here's the interesting thing, right? If you look at Mafe's production at a high level and what was talked about, he said, good year, solid year, decent year for an edge player. But when you really dive deep into the analytics and you look at the PFF data specifically, he didn't just have a solid year last year. He had a borderline Pro Bowl caliber year last year, and he seems to only getting better. And here's what I mean by this. So PFF has some really good advanced analytics. And if you look at pass rush grade in true pass set situations. Now, what that means is like 3rd and 10, and as an edge defender, you're going against a tackle that's doing a true pass set, right? So sometimes some guys get a lot of sacks because it's a play action, and they get a running back on them on a bootleg or something like that, or no one picks them up, and they get a lot of sacks, tackles for loss, pressures that sometimes get lucky and fortunate like that. That's not a sign of sustainable success. Mafe's pass rush grade in true pass set situations, like 3rd and long situations where you got to have it as defense, graded out as an 83.6. That was 22nd in the NFL. Here are some of the names around Boye Mafe. Right above him, Bradley Chubb, Max Crosby, Jadeveon Clowney, Daniel Hunter, Bryce Huff, Joey Bosa, Brandon Graham, Khalil Mack, right? So these are some of the elite, the biggest names, the best pass rushers in football who are only slightly above Boye Mafe on this list. In fact, behind Mafe, you've got guys like Alex Highsmith, a great pass rusher for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Mafe, in situations where you have to have it as a defender, edge rusher, true pass rush situations, true pass set deals here, he's as good as some of the best in football. And that's sort of an indicator that he's about to break out and be even better. Because once you start winning more and more of those tough situations, those gotta-have-it moments, suddenly defensive coordinators, smart guys like new head man Mike Macdonald, they're going to open up more opportunities for you to get more sacks. They're going to start setting up defenses and schemes to allow you to be more productive. And Mike Macdonald knows a thing or two about unlocking talent from an edge defender. I love comparing Kyle Van Noy before and after Mike Macdonald in 2021. Kyle Van Noy, edge defender, pass rush grade with the New England Patriots, 60.7. 2022 with the Chargers, 60.6. Okay, Van Noy, late in his career, he's a 60 grade kind of guy. Goes to the Baltimore Ravens last year, grades out 75.9. I don't think Kyle Van Noy somehow found the fountain of youth late in his career. I don't think Baltimore has that kind of laying around the city somewhere. I think that's 100% Mike Macdonald knowing how to unlock and unleash edge defenders. And Kyle Van Noy, very physically, obviously he's a little bit older in his career, but very physically similar to Boye Mafe. I am excited to see what Mafe does this season because I think he's going to surprise a lot of people and take a massive leap in 2024.
Yeah, Nick, and you brought up something that I think is really important. I think that's key here for Mafe. I have a little bit of a different spin on it. You look at what McDonald did in Baltimore. He was the king, absolute king of taking so-called washed up edge defenders from around the league, getting them into his system, and they're having career years. They're going absolutely insane. You think of Jadeveon Clowney, like you mentioned, Calvin Noy. You think of Houston. You think of Calais Campbell in that defense started to do really great stuff. There's so many guys who would come into Baltimore, older guys, later in their career, and really do some great stuff. So I think it's key here that Mafe, he's at the peak of his career. He probably hasn't even peaked in his career yet. He's so early on in his NFL career. McDonald, the Ravens, they weren't going out and splurging and spending on pass rushers like that. He didn't have the materials to work with like he did. Now he's got a guy in Mafe who's really learning. His first season, he did pretty good. His second season, there's the Athletic article about his second season where he talked about things started to slow down. He's really being able to take the game, a play at a time and understand what's going on. Then we see the 9 sacks last season. Was doing really well. Now he's got the Mike Macdonald effect, and the Mike Macdonald has Mafe, a younger edge rusher. I think that's going to be a key here, and I think he can really get the most out of him. And maybe 1, maybe 2 years. I think this year could be good, but I think next year could be great for Mafe once he gets that Mike Macdonald defense under his belt. So expect him to have a bigger year this year, but I also expect him to have an even bigger year next year as well.